And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Hello. How is everybody doing tonight? It's good to see everybody. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I'll give it a couple minutes and see if everybody gets in here. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday. Hi, I'm about. How are you? Good to see you. How's everything? Happy New Year. Hi, Melissa. How you doing? Let's see here. Who else do we have here? Hi, Random. What's going on, girl? How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Chuck. How are ya? Welcome. How's everything? Everything's good? That's good. That's good. I'm very glad. Who else do we have in here? Scout, hi, if you're here. Hello. Kayla Danielle, how are you? I'm excited too. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Guys, make sure to please hit that thumbs up on your way in. I appreciate it so much. We're just going to give it a minute or two to let some people come in. I'm not going to hold off too long, but I have a very exciting guest to introduce to you guys tonight. And I'm really excited for this. This is going to be some new stuff that we're doing on the panel here on the chat. Hi, Jim. How are you? Good to see you. Pop and Jay. Hey, how are you? You like my food videos, don't you? They're pretty fun, aren't they? They're good things. All my foodie things. Carrie Ann B, hi. How are you? What's going on? It's so good to see you. Welcome. I hope everything's good. I hope everything is good on your end. So yeah, we have a very exciting night planned for tonight. Scout, what's going on? Thank you, I'm about. Thank you. I took a shower today. I take a shower every day. That's good to see you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. Let's see here. So I don't know if you guys read in my description, but I have a friend of mine that I want to introduce to you guys. His name is Jason. He is. I'm going to let him do his own introduction because he is a fantastic person. He has a lot of knowledge about recovery, addiction. He runs a sober living home. He is in recovery himself. But I'm not going to do a lot of talking about him. I'm actually going to allow him to be the one to kind of talk to you guys and introduce himself and tell you guys a little bit about his story. So I am going to bring him up. Oh, thanks, Carrie Ann. It's good to see you, sweetheart. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Is Melissa here? I think she's here. She was here before. She'll be back anyways. All right, so let me do this. Let me bring up Jason so he can say hi to you guys. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. I prefer that you go ahead and keep introducing me.
No. You're very good at doing that. You know,
It
like I
takes
told
all
you
the pressure
before.
off.
That's good. I'm so glad. We're so glad that you're here tonight. I'm really glad to have you on panel and just to be able to kind of talk to everybody here. Everybody's super cool. I mean, and so it's just almost like when we were talking on the phone. You know what I mean? Just kind of telling a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your story. If people have some questions later on, you know, certainly we can filter in the chat. You know, any questions that might come up.
Sure.
You know, but I'm gonna hand it over to you. I'm gonna cam down here so everybody can kind of focus on you.
It's easy. I will tell you that since this is the first time, it is easier to see you because then I'm talking. It's like I'm talking to
You're
somebody.
like talking to somebody. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll be back and forth. I'll be back and forth. So
Okay.
in case the dogs need to go out or something like that, you know what I mean? But I'll be back and forth. I'm not gonna like cam down the whole time. So this is Jason's first time like on a YouTube panel, you guys. So we need to be like extra courteous. Not that they're not. They'll be very nice.
I was always told that if you announce that you're nervous, that you won't be as nervous.
You won't
You
be
know,
as nervous.
right? I've heard that you
Break a
say,
leg, but don't really break a leg. Like, don't say good luck. You know.
right.
One of
Well, they
those.
say picture everybody naked, but I can't do that because,
That's all right. That's
yeah.
okay. That's all right.
So yeah, I guess to introduce myself, I got through this to this YouTube channel through a friend at work, um, and it was kind of out of the blue. That it was very random. In fact, it's random girl or something like that. uh, uh, and she told me a little bit about this channel, so I've crept on it a little bit to see what it's all about. And I'm very passionate about recovery. So when you asked me, I thought, why not? Uh, recovery for me is it's my lifestyle, and it has to be because drinking was my lifestyle prior, and drinking was going to get me killed.
That was your vice. That was your vice. That was your addiction.
That was my addiction. I was a drinker. I don't call myself. I don't give myself a tag that says alcoholic.
Right.
However, when I drink, I take it to extreme, and it's gotten me into places where I would never be sober. Never. It magnifies character defects that I have. I have the character defects now sober, but when I'm drinking, if anybody in this room has people they know or they're in it themselves, it's a very bad place to be. So talking about it to me is the best. It's the best there is. I really,
your therapy?
Yeah, my the drinking, talking about how it is now, sober, is such a joy, because the pain of where drinking takes you to eventually is extreme. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like you get to a point of loneliness. Take away the physical effects of the alcohol,
right,
and you're left with the mental effects of alcohol and your mental status, even say while you're drinking, but not in the activity of drinking. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I say, I think on one of your sessions you had something, and I commented that pain fixes stupid.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Well, my dad used to say, and he died from smoking. He wasn't a drinker, but he used to say to me all the time, like if I would complain about something hurting. So I'll give you an example. If I said, "Man, my arm's really hurting me," he would say, "Well, take a hammer and hit yourself in the head, and you forget about the pain of your arm."
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was saying it jokingly. He didn't mean for me to actually do it, but think about that analogy, and it's true. If if your arm hurts and you smack yourself in the head with a hammer, the pain of your arm goes away. I'm going somewhere with this. Loneliness in drinking is the most painful thing that I've ever dealt with, ever. So to fix that pain of loneliness, I would drink. That make any sense? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because it's like a vicious circle.
Yeah,
right?
Oh, it's brutal. Yeah. It's brutal. And the heavier you drink, the more lonely and isolated you become.
Right. Right.
So through many rehabs, I'm telling you a little bit about me. I'm 50 years old. I'm lucky to be here, 50 years old. I've been to many rehabs. I have been to many detoxes. I have been to the fancy rehabs of Florida on the beach. We had meetings on the beach, 12-step groups. I'm not going to name 12-step groups while I'm in here because I'm not here to bash them or promote them. I'll call them 12-step help groups, whatever. Right. So back to the rehabs and the detoxes. I've been to the real pretty ones, the fancy ones, 5-star cuisine, the beach. And I've been to what I personally say is the lowest and hardest recovery rehab was the Salvation Army 6-month program. And I graduated that program, and it was the best rehab that I ever went to, because it was so difficult. If you go through rehab and you're sitting on the beach and you're eating steak and shrimp, that's not really a consequence of your drinking. That's actually kind of a gift. I don't know. You feel blessed. You feel lucky. Uh, but when you're in the Salvation Army with 100 other guys that are down and out, lonely, miserable, hollow people, and you got 6 months of that, you learn. Plus, it brings in God, and I'm a Christian,
Right.
and I'm not going to preach Christianity here either. Although it is a big part of my recovery. So
Sure. I think
you
for a
know,
lot of people's recovery, it is.
yeah, I would hope. I would hope for them.
Yep.
It's funny because that makes me think. I'm thinking of uh, uh, back to the back to me now, and I manage a sober living house, and I tell these guys with these 12-step groups, you have to have some kind of uh, recovery program,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to have something. You got to establish a routine,
Mm-hmm.
a healthy routine. Uh, and most places here, well, I'm in Akron, Ohio. Most places, most sober living homes and facilities require a certain amount of 12-step groups a week. So you have to go in with a sheet into a meeting and you have to have it signed. And then you take it back to your house manager and he verifies that you did that.
Now, when you say sober house, you mean people that have already gone through like detox and they are
Yes,
in active like recovery.
absolutely. Yes. This stage of recovery, it goes detox, rehab, then PHP, which is partial hospitalization programs,
Okay.
to an IOP, which is intensive outpatient program,
Uh-huh.
then to sober living. So
Oh, so
you've
it's like the last kind of final stop in a lot of senses.
yes.
Okay.
Uh, and it depends on the individual where they're at with their recovery if they're ready for sober living, but that's very difficult to weed through or to interview for people to come, because you're not going to tell the manager, I'm not there yet, or I'm not working my recovery or enough. You're going to say everything you can to get into the house.
Right.
Some people are honest about it, some people are not, and that's where that's my job. That's
Okay.
what I do. I
Okay.
make sure that they stay on a path of recovery. And having the position, I'm blessed because it keeps me accountable,
Mm-hmm.
right? So these guys, they think he's the manager. Well, they're helping me as much as I'm helping them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm accountable. I can't go out and drink,
Right.
right?
Right.
If it comes worst comes to push comes to shove, and I'm ready to drink, I've got to think. Well, I've got up to 8 people that
Setting
are.
the example. Yeah, they're looking up
Yes,
to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
gotcha.
yep.
Now, are
So
you considered their sponsor, or no? That's something that's different. If they're working like
a sponsor's completely different. A sponsor is in the 12-step groups.
Yep.
It's somebody who has some time in recovery that will lead the guys or girl
Mm-hmm.
through the 12 steps of
Okay.
recovery.
Carrie
And
Ann
that
B here says rock bottom keeps her sober. That's what keeps her sober.
rock bottom kept her sober, or keeps her sober.
Yes, that's what she's saying. Rock bottom keeps me sober is what she says.
And I'm trying to figure out if that means that she's at her rock bottom now
No,
and
no,
has.
no. She's in recovery. I know that Carrie Ann at one time had struggled with addiction, but she is in recovery, and I guess having hit her rock bottom at one point in her life is what continues to keep her sober, because I don't think she
Sure.
wants to go back to that place. I don't think anybody would once they hit that bottom.
No, and it's funny because my bottoms keep changing.
Oh,
My bottoms change.
okay.
I went where I thought it cannot get any worse, and drank again, and it got worse,
Okay.
way worse.
Okay.
It got to the point. My bottom so far, my bottom has been when I've been laying in detox, trying to physically slow my heart down so that it will get so slow that I will die.
Wow.
Like I'm Christian. I won't commit what you would consider suicide. I won't shoot myself, slice my wrist, whatever, overdose. But I'm killing myself by drinking, knowing that it's killing me. So is it suicide? I don't know. But laying in detox and you're so lonely, so miserable, so physically sick
Mm-hmm.
that you want to die, and you are trying to hold your breath. You're trying to stop your heart. You're praying to God, just take me now.
Right.
That's a bad place to be.
Right, because it's like you don't want to be in the addiction, but you don't necessarily want to take the steps to get back to that good place that you were at.
Absolutely. It can be daunting.
Yeah.
It can
Yeah.
be daunting if you
Yeah.
don't commit. So, I thought my last time I'll get it. I hope I'm not talking too much. Am I?
No, you're fine. No, this
Okay.
is great.
I thought I love root cause analysis. I always loved it in school. And I just want to get to the root of what my drinking, what is it? And I don't want to give the sad stories. Like I don't
You don't want to
say,
get to that place.
right. I don't want to cop out. I don't want to say, well, I wasn't raised with my mom. My mom was never around. She left when I was a kid. So that must be why I'm drinking. Never in my conscious awareness am I drinking going boohoo. Wasn't raised by my mom. I've never done that.
Okay.
But if you talk to a psychologist
They might
or
say,
psychiatrist, they might say, well, you got PTSD, you're traumatized, no,
yep.
no, that's not it. So I came up with a mission statement. I thought, you know what, I have got to do things different. I would get out of rehab and I would try the 12 steps. The 12-step help group. I would go to meetings. I would go to 10 meetings a week.
Right.
I would, yeah. And I had my sponsor. I had recovery coaches. I had peer support. And I would try so hard. But I think of it like going to meetings, and I'm not going to knock it. So just take it as a general statement.
Mm-hmm.
It is that there was an experiment called Pavlov's dog, and it was where this Pavlov would ring a bell and associate it with food, and the dog would salivate. And if they took finally doing this over and over and over again, they would take the food away, ring the bell, and the dog would still salivate. He associated the bell to the food.
Right.
If I'm in a 12-step meeting and all we're talking about is alcohol for an hour, I start to salivate.
You can't exactly.
Yeah, I start to think about drinking. So each time that I've been in and out of rehab and I've tried the 12 steps, it's not worked for me.
Because it's just not your way. Yeah.
It just,
yeah.
You know what? I don't know how many viewers are on here, but 20 of these people on here, it may work for them. And God bless, I am so happy for you.
Right.
For anybody else, it didn't. So what I came up with is I really need to find the mental problem that causes that's associated with my drinking. It has to be mental. It goes back to that so if you take a hammer and you hit your thumb instead of the nail, how many times are you going to do that before you say I'm not a carpenter? I have to find out the root cause of my drinking. And so I see a shrink. I hope there's no psychologists on here because they don't like shrink, but I see one that I trust and I talk to him and I put as much effort into being honest with him and meeting with him as I did my drinking. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
I want it so bad that I'm laying it all out on the table and letting his expertise, because I trust him. He's also Christian. I trust him and he helps me back.
Wow.
So go ahead.
Let's see here. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm going to go through the chat here real quick.
No, you're good.
Gina Maxey, hi. If I didn't say hello to you guys, I'm trying to highlight your comments here. So thank you for coming in very much. Yes, addiction is a strong animal. Melissa is saying, Jason, you have come a long way. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
420 chick. Oh my goodness. So she says, my son's best friend for his whole life just OD'd after being clean for years. He was 39. We are heartbroken. Oh my gosh.
I bet. That's terrible.
I'm so sorry, 420 chick. Oh my gosh. It is heartbreaking. It's just, I'm really, really sorry. My thoughts and prayers are going out to your family. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's tragic. Yeah, I know. Right? Random says, Jason has these analogies all the time. I love it. That's nice.
Well, my prayers go out for that lady and that kid's family. And that brings up a good point at the beginning when you said introduce myself. A lot of people ask me, and I hate this question, how long have you been sober? I hate that. And in the 12-step groups, that's kind of a big deal. Your anniversary, your
Right.
sober date.
Chip, I don't know exactly how it works. They do those chips or those
Yeah. Coins.
accolades for it. Yeah.
Yeah, they do coins in one, and they do a keychain in another. And here's what I say to that is, I'm not going to say my sobriety date because I don't need to, I judge people. I'm guilty of judging people, and I
Okay.
know people are judging me. So it's kind of like when we ask couples how long you've been together. Why does what does that what qualifies them to be a couple? Do you say, well, they've been together 7 years, so they must be a good couple? Oh, they've only been together a year, so they,
Right.
But if
Well, they give
if I
milestones like 25 years is a silver anniversary, and 50 years
right
is golden anniversary, and
right well, and
yeah.
if I said to you, I'll tell you something, and you might get this because I'm going to reverse it. If I say to you, I'm 3 months sober, you might go, he must not know that much about sobriety because that ain't very long, right? He don't know very much. Well, maybe if I said I'm 5 years, would that make me qualified, or 10 years? And there's so many stories, just like that lady just said, of that amount of period of sobriety, and they go out and they die.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
So I don't. I'm qualified in my own mind. I don't need other people to think I'm qualified. I only get excited when my experience can help somebody else.
That's fantastic. I like that. That's
Yeah.
really awesome. Yeah. Well, because I think sometimes, they say the old adage, like, it takes one to know one, right? So,
Yeah.
like, if you're a cop, right? But you were like a bad kid at one time, and like you committed, like, petty crimes or whatever the case might be. The thought process of how a criminal might work, or even just a small time criminal, will allow somebody to be a better cop because they can think like them, right? So it's almost like the same thing. It doesn't mean that somebody that hasn't been in addiction can't help somebody that's in addiction.
Absolutely.
And I think that, with this community, there's so many of us that have been plagued by it in one sense or another. And some of us have shared our stories. Some of us have not shared everything.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people here that have either been in active addiction and are in recovery, whatever you want to call it. They're no longer a slave to whatever drug was their drug of choice at that time. We'll put it
Sure.
that way.
If you went with somebody you really give a lot of credit to, or a lot of kudos, or I don't know how to word this, but take the guy or girl who's 3 days sober or 3 days clean.
Right.
And I'll guarantee you those people are strong as can be. And take me with time of recovery, a long period of time of sobriety. My day is not as hard, in my opinion, as the person who's 3 days, 5 days, a month.
Mhm.
Those are the strong people. Those are the people we need to love, and we need to shower them with
They're
our
really going
encouragement.
through it. They're really going through
Absolutely.
it.
Keep them going. Keep them encouraged,
Mhm.
because it to me, it did get easier once I established a healthy routine, included mental health help, and went with a mission statement. I have a mission statement. It's above all else, guard my heart, for everything I do flows from it. And so everything I do protects me from the triggers. Somebody just mentioned triggers a minute ago. AA meetings they said trigger you.
Yes, Gina, I said that. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to guard my heart because everything I do flows from it. That's actually from the Bible. It doesn't matter, but it is from the Bible.
Mhm.
And if I don't guard my heart, if there's things, Random will know this. At work, there's things that would happen that I have to protect myself because, like I said at the beginning, my character defects will come through. That irritability, that angry, that resentful, and if I don't guard myself from that, it can lead me down a downward spiral.
Right.
Right. So I don't know. But by that, you said earlier, and I said, but you have to commit to that. Think about that. You get your mission statement and you say, all right, this is what I want to do. Now you have to commit to it. Right. You have to be consistent with it. Right. And you have to concentrate on it, and you need to communicate. And me and you, actually, Cindy, talked about the communication styles. Remember that on the phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Very much so.
Very important.
Very, very much so. I'm gonna cam back up in a second. I have dogs fighting over blankets on my bed right now, so just give me one. I mean, I'm listening. I'm talking. Let's see here. Melissa says we're gonna go through the chat here for a few minutes. She says I'm watching my sister-in-law right now, and it's killing her. Watching her daughter in addiction right now, and it's heartbreaking. Yeah.
Nope.
I think sometimes so. Okay, like from my own personal experience, watching somebody in addiction that's close to you is sometimes even a harder position to be in, right? Because you're riding that roller coaster with that person in particular, right? Like, and I think that in my opinion, addiction also flows into also like trauma, like that just happens in our own lives, or traumatic things that happen when you're with somebody that might be in active addiction, you know. So much of the stuff that like you've even talked about with me, it resonates with me so much, because I can apply those theories and those that thought process to like my everyday life. You know what I mean? Um, and I think that everybody needs to find whatever method and way that they can live, without having a vice that they have to run to all the time that could potentially kill them or kill the relationships that they have with people, that would allow them to not be employed or be a good parent or grandparent, son, daughter, et cetera, et cetera,
Ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
If the vices and all these things that we get into, and you can't judge, because if I say, okay, I'm an alcoholic and you're a drug addict, and or you're a gambler or sex addict or a klepto, whatever. If you just ask for help, it's funny. I was thinking of my sister. She called me on New Year's and said that she quit smoking. And I said, well, that's excellent. But why did you tell me? Because now you set yourself up for failure. Because 10 days from now, you're going to be calling and you're not going to mention smoking. And I'm going to ask you, how's it going smoking? And you're going to say, I started smoking again.
So you're going to say, hey, how's that, no smoking thing going?
Right. So it's like, just ask for help, say, I would like your encouragement or your support. I'm going to do my best to try to quit whatever X.
Right. Okay.
Right. Does that make sense?
Saying that to either one person or a bunch of people, you're in one way, you're holding yourself accountable, right? So at some level, if that's how you need to be held accountable, if that's the type of person you are, then that's fantastic. If you're going to have people that are going to hold you accountable, right?
Sure. But I've lied so many times. I'm counting rehabs, and I don't know what I'm at. I'm at 6 or 7 rehabs, and every time I would say, you know what, I'm done drinking, and I would tell people that,
right?
And then I'm a liar. I wasn't done yet, and hopefully this time I am done. That's my hope. That's my goal. If I do everything today that I did yesterday and go to sleep, I will have another day of sobriety.
Right. I mean, because what happened to trigger the drinking or the drug use at one time is not the reason you're maybe doing it today. The reason people, not you, but people in general, the reason they're doing it today is because they need to, because they just did it a little while ago, because that's their addiction. It's part of what addiction is. It's not because of what happened 20 years ago, possibly in trauma in their life. That was the reason maybe they started doing it. But now it's like, well, they have to continue to do the escaping because that's what they do. That's their life that they live. And just as much as that's a hard life to live, every day of being sober for people, or whatever you want to call it, clean, sober, not using all that different
whatever
you want to, however you want to phrase it, because I know so many different people say certain things about it, but like, as long as you're doing something that's not going to trigger that part of your life, like that part of your life again, that could be a detriment to you.
Sure.
It's a work in progress, but you know what? Life is a work in progress.
It is.
It's a journey. It's not a destination.
I think it's just making me think of all these things, like these guys at the Sober Living House. I try to offer suggestions, right? So you and I were talking about communication, and it brings me back to setting boundaries versus expectations, right? Mm-hmm. So when somebody reaches out for help, be careful in the help that you offer. Right. Mm-hmm. You talked on your platform about enabling. You talked about uh, you talked about I didn't think you were talking about expectations, but I said, well, you got to set your boundaries, and your boundaries can be, you don't stop loving the person who's in addiction.
Right, because there was somebody that we were, well, because you've watched a lot
Yeah.
of the chats in the community here, and there is somebody that has an active or had an active platform and a very good following, and she now is going to detox and rehab from what we've
Good.
been told. And I said, I can wish you well from a distance, but some of the things that kind of led up to it, her behavior and the way she was treating people that were really trying to be good friends and support system to her, she really shit on, basically.
Sure. And that's you may disagree with me, but that's to be expected. If you are in the bowels of your addiction, that, like I said at the beginning, the character defects get magnified by the use.
So guys, listen to this. I want you to repeat that again, because that made a lot of sense when you said that to me. Like, I know it's to be expected, and like I was saying to you, but it still hurts as a human being when you go through a roller coaster. Absolutely. As a human being, it still hurts. So it's like, well, where do we say it's okay to keep punching me like a punching bag or kicking me around like a rag doll? Or where do you say enough is enough? I can support you from a distance. And what you said to me was, when they get to that point or something of that, you could say it again. So it's about magnification of their
character defects.
There you go. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. And we've all got them. We've all got them. I told you before this thing started, I said, you called me addiction specialist or addiction and recovery specialist. I said, I've been called a lot worse. And I have some serious defects, but when I drink, and I don't even know that I'm doing it most of the time, I don't know that I'm doing it, but I have drank so much and people use so much that it magnifies their character defect. And that lady, God bless her, I really wish her the best. It excites me that she's going to detox and rehab. That is exciting. I don't care how she got in there. I don't care if the law sent her there. I hope that God puts his hand on her while she's in there, and she finds maybe not her lowest, but a low that keeps her. And the next time you see her, she may be, don't expect this, but she may be apologetic to you. She may be embarrassed. She may regret what she did, and it can be a catalyst for her recovery.
I don't have any expectations. I just hope that she gets well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the best.
That's the best thing that I can say is, like, you know what? I just hope you get well.
And when I say guard my heart, and if I was to suggest that to you, I would say that if she comes back out and she gets back into that routine, that would be a time where you wish her the best and you wash your hands of her.
Well, that's exactly it. It's not about being mean, you know what I mean? And that's not where we're at right here.
Right.
I want to go back to a comment here, because I'm watching some people's comments.
Sure. I can't see them.
No. This is why it's good. Like, sometimes if I calm down, because I can read through the comments, because otherwise I feel fine. So Carrie Ann B says here, I think it's a cycle. I have a daughter. She's a young adult struggling now with alcohol. It scares the crap out of me. I see myself responding like my dad. She is finishing her bachelor's this spring.
Scares the crap. Yeah, I can see it with my reading glasses on.
I know I have to put my glasses on.
It's so tiny. I mean, it's.
I put my glasses on too. I know, I'm with you.
I think it's a cycle. It's absolutely a cycle. Young adult. That's terrible. I mean, I started drinking when I was young too. I actually started my drinking career where I became really good at it when I was 30. So I was actually a little bit older. It doesn't matter. Oh shoot.
No, I'm reading. I'm sorry. I changed it.
Me too.
She says here, no, her health is getting questionable, heart palpitations and vomiting. She drinks Johnny Walker Black. Okay.
What the heck?
She is, getting quite belligerent at times. She wants help, but puts it off. And now she's finishing school, so she would put it off again.
It can only be put off so many times. That's just the truth of it. Right. Either she's going to get to the point where she has no choice, or an ambulance is going to take her, God forbid, or she'll listen to reason. I mean, it's just going to play out. We hear it a million times. There's nothing we can do to stop it.
Yeah, and I think that that's the hardest part is like we want as parents, I think so many times, even though Carrie Ann has been through her own struggles in her own life, but prior to that, this is now her child. And so watching your child go through it, it is so hard because you want to just love on them and you want to protect them. And there's a boundary that you have to sometimes create too, I think. Um, you know, I it's very difficult, I think, and Carrie, and thank you for feeling comfortable enough to share that in here because this is the space we want to have for you guys is to talk about some of this stuff. We always talk about life stuff here. You know what I mean? It's not always like, peaches and roses, as much as I would love to say that's what life is, but it's not always that. But I think that being able to share those types of experiences and also to have somebody who's been through it themselves and also helps other people going through it is a really good ongoing conversation that we can have.
Sure.
Yeah, because everybody needs to have a place where they feel comfortable.
There's something I would throw out to the viewers to watch, and it puts addiction into a nutshell like I've never heard before. It's on YouTube, and am I still on here?
Sorry.
Am I still on here?
Yeah, you're still on. Don't worry about it. I'm just muting myself for 1 second, but you're good. You're good.
Okay. Anyway, write it down. His name's Johann, Johann, and then space Hari, and put in, like, when you search it, put in his name. It's a TED Talk, and put in Rat Park, RAT space PARK. Watch that, and then there's a video right after that, same guy, and it explains addiction so well. I actually think you would love it, so I thought I would throw that out there. Are you still on here?
I'm here. I'm listening. Sorry.
Okay.
My husband walked in, the dog started going nuts, and they unplugged my computer and everything. So I'm just.
That's fine.
Sorry.
We actually have a therapy dog here too at the house.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, we do. She's awesome. Her name's Frankie.
That's so awesome. Oh, really? Her name's Frankie. I love
Frankie.
that.
Yeah, she's a boxer pit bull mix.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I just threw a plug out there. I'm not plugging TED Talks, or I'm not plugging YouTube. I don't care, but I just put that guy out there. If viewers in the struggle, or people in addiction, watch that video. I can't explain it. I'm not going to try to explain it. I just want you to watch it.
Afterwards, I can link it in the description after we're done, and then this way,
Yep.
if people want to go back and click on that link, I can also link that in the description here.
Yeah, it's well worth it. It talks about purpose, and and part of my struggle has always been trying to find a purpose. A random person will know this, that I worked at a deli, and I'm 50 years old, and my therapist, my psychologist, he the one I talked about so highly earlier, I kept complaining to him. I said, everything's going well, but I can't sleep. I just can't sleep. And he said to me, why are you working at a deli? You're 50 years old. Smacked me in the face. Right. But he's absolutely right. And that's why I love him. I actually meet him tomorrow, is because he'll tell you exactly what you need to hear. Right.
It might be difficult.
Huh?
It might be difficult.
Oh yeah, it's difficult to hear, but it makes complete sense.
That's what we need sometimes when therapy is not about doing the same mundane thing over and over again. That's the definition of insanity.
Yes, it is actually. And I've struggled. I went through many therapists, and I don't go to the therapist who says, you know what, you should journal. Or you should write.
You're doing a great job. Just keep up the great work.
Yeah, you're doing awesome. Just put positive affirmations up on your bathroom mirror that says how awesome you are, and repeat them to yourself. Get the hell out of here.
Right. I want to hear what I got to work on this week, and I'm going to meet with you every Monday, because at the beginning of the week, it's got to set me up for success. And
right.
I might fail, but by
it's all hogwash. But when he slaps you in the face and says, "Hey, what are you doing at 50 years old? You seem intelligent, and you're working at a deli."
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes
I know it can go both ways, but you get my point. Is that he's like, maybe you're not sleeping well because you're not living your purpose. You're not living your purpose
because you're not doing enough to, get your brain going every day. Yeah. Let's see.
Anyway.
Here. Hi, Miss Chaz. How are you? I'm just gonna say hello. Honda, thank you for dropping Melissa's link. Yes, Melissa, we do. Well, look, come on. My dog is fighting me right now because she wants to come under covers that don't exist. They're very pissy. Let's see here. What do I have here? No, random. Honda is I art you. That's Honda. She has an incognito name now, but that's Honda. She's right here. Let's see here. Okay, random. So she's gonna check that person out that you were talking about. Carrie MB. Let's see what she says here. I can't stand watching her. She fights with me at times. We've always been so close. It hurts. I have a ton going on with my mom and my aunt, but that's my baby. My brother passed from addiction at 49.
It's
I mean,
terrible.
it is terrible. And you know what, Kieran? The only thing I can say, at least from my own perspective, is she's finishing up with college. Certainly, if there is an issue, you know, that hopefully her degree, if she's working towards something, will take hold, and that will give her purpose. You know what I mean? Because like we all need purpose in life. I don't know. I'm not like Jason is, but like I can look at it from like a humane standpoint of maybe getting into a different part in her life and more adulting more might make things better for her, you know? And you know, I don't know. And Jason, maybe you can answer this. When does it go from like having fun and partying to it being a problem?
It goes to a problem. It's there from the beginning. It is a problem from the beginning. For me, it wasn't. I wasn't the guy who would go to the bar. I wasn't a bar hopper anyway, but I wasn't the guy who would go to a bar and have a couple drinks and then slowly but surely do more and more. I was the guy who would drink to blackout from high school.
From day one.
Yeah, and then fast forward to 30 when life happened, a big life event happened, and I went crazy overboard and drank for 15 more years. I would drink to blackout, period. Here's where it's a problem. And for that lady, I can't remember her name, maybe Carrie Ann.
Yes.
Yeah, she has the withdrawals. I mean, she is now at the point where medically she has to be treated. Mm-hmm. That's very difficult because then it's like a double-edged sword. You can't tell her not to drink. You can't tell her to drink because you don't want her to be an alcoholic, and you can't tell her to stop because you don't want her to have a heart attack.
Right. Because at one point before like fentanyl and all that came on the scene, wasn't the only detox that could be detrimental to somebody was off of alcohol at one time?
Alcohol and benzos. So Xanax, Ativan, benzos and alcohol have the deadliest. Your chances of death are a lot greater from seizures or from heart attack.
Gotcha.
So it's a very difficult spot that lady's in, Carrie Ann B. And there's no advice that I can give beside constantly telling her you love her and that you need her to get into detox or to consider detox.
Right.
And that's the first step.
A medically assisted detox, most.
Right? Well, it's funny because I have written down, and for some reason I have the house notes with me, but I have medically assisted treatment. We don't allow that here at this house.
No, I'm talking about like a detox, like
okay, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah, you'll go there and
hard knuckle it in your bathroom for 3 days.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, go get her detox. If she's got insurance, I'm sure she may because apparently she's a college student. That she can go into any detox and. God be with her that after those 7 days, she will feel so much better health-wise, and she's such a youngster that she'll feel better healthy, and she won't want to put herself back to the point where she's in withdrawals again because that happens every time. If she's already at withdrawals and she gets back to drinking after a period of detox, it will happen. It will cycle over and over and over.
Yes. Okay.
That's my suggestion: is love her and encourage her to seek detox. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just medically. I mean, that's anybody's responsibility. for human to human is get them medically treated. That's to the point where they need medical
Right.
treatment. No
Right.
no questions asked, no other suggestions.
Right.
Don't say throw her in a room and let her sweat it out.
No, you can't do that. Not with
No,
that.
that'll
Not
kill
with
her.
that, and
Yeah,
like not with a couple other things now that are out there. I think
right.
everybody used to be able to do that. Mostly when it was heroin. But now
Heroin.
even with the fentanyl and the tranquilizer, it just adds such a different caveat. Not even speed bump, but I mean it's just a huge roadblock. A
It's
huge
sad to see. It's sad to hear. It scares me because it puts me right back into the, and I like I said, I got to be careful because when I go back and think of these things, that
Mhm.
those, like the one lady said, that's a trigger. It's
Mhm.
thinking about those times of drinking. It's that Pavlov's dog. It's that reminder.
Of
Uh,
course, of
yeah.
course.
So I get
Chris
real
Chaz,
excited. I
thank
get real
you.
excited when people start doing well. I get excited that people want to hear this stuff.
Right.
I get excited if people take suggestions.
Mhm.
That we have guys all the time that try to come and the first question I ask them if they want to enter this house is, can you pass a 14 panel drug test right now? And I'm actually pointing down
Right.
right
So,
now.
okay. So for people that don't understand what that is, do
A
you want to?
14 panel drug test. It's a
Yeah. Do you
urine
want to
test.
explain what that is?
Sure, it's a urine test that tests for everything: opiates, methamphetamines, THC, fentanyl's on the 14 panel,
Right.
benzodiazepines.
So
Uh,
with a urine test though,
yeah,
doesn't that only look back so far?
no, well, yeah. I mean, for if you were taking benzos, I think it's 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it goes
So when you say benzos, like
Xanax,
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Xanax, Valium, Ativan,
Yep.
Alprazolam is generic for,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And their answer, if they tell me no, I don't just kick them to the curb. I never do that because
Right. You
here's
want
where
to
it
kind of
comes.
get to the root of why.
No, I want them to. I tell them that I have all these numbers and all these resources, and to that Carrie B, I'd be glad to look up wherever you live and try to tell you where a detox is. But
Carrie B is actually, I believe, she is in my state. Carrie B,
Austin.
she's in Connecticut. She's in
Oh,
Connecticut.
but yeah,
Um,
and I just say, because a lot of these houses have the epidemic of drinking and drugging is so big that people get sick of it and they'll just kick you to the curb. I get very, like I said earlier, I get very excited if I can tell somebody, all right, if you can't pass a drug test right now, here's all of your opportunities that they have available free to go get yourself fixed, and keep my number and then call me back.
Chemist Chaz, excuse me one second. Chemist Chaz,
Yeah.
thank you for coming in, hon. Thank you. I'm sorry you have family stuff. I so appreciate you coming in. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to everybody here, but I want Jason to talk and
Oh, well, I can be done. I can stop.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're good. No, this is why I can go through the chat while I'm cammed down. You know what I mean? And you can keep talking, which is fantastic. Yes. Oh, I wasn't gonna see here. Yes. Oh, hang on one second. Yes, she is. She is. Carrie B. She's in Connecticut. And she has insurance through your ex-husband.
Ex-husband.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Well, she's a shoe-in. If you can get her on board, and do it with love. Don't do it with don't do it with anger, because it'll never work.
The thing of it, yeah. I mean, and I think the thing of it is that, so like, okay, I'm sorry. Continue. You were talking about some of the guys in the house and what happened there, or what
That was you had said something to jog my memory
about
the
14 panel drug test, right? So
yeah. So
that's a urine test that does a 14 panel test for
14 different drugs.
14 different things.
Yeah,
They have a 25. They have a 25 panel. They have a 5 panel. They have a yes.
Yeah, and this sober living house, I require. See, like I told you before, I don't think I finished my thought process. Was most sober living houses require typically 3 to 5 documented AA meetings or NA. I said I wouldn't mention the names, but I did per week.
Okay.
And it to me, if that's going to work for you and you can establish a healthy routine and that's what you want to do, fine. I don't require that. I require 3 of any positive self-help care that you can do. So church is one.
Okay.
Your shrink, a I'm sorry, I keep saying that. Mental health counseling.
Yep.
Yeah,
The certified mental health counselor.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That's very politically correct.
There you go.
And
Like an addiction recovery specialist, such as yourself.
right. Addiction recovery specialist. I want a
There you
badge.
go.
I want a badge that says that. I'll wear that around. Um, but yeah, anything. Even like I suggest things to them. Like we have this place called. It's a financial empowerment place that's free. You can go in there and give them your train wreck of a life of bills because of what you've done to yourself in addiction, and they will help you for free fix your problem. And I count that as positive self-help care.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
You're not a super traditional. And
No.
when I say traditional.
No, and the reason I am not is because it didn't work for me.
Exactly, because not everything works for everybody.
Yeah, so I don't push people to do it exactly like me. They are free to go to 100 AA meetings a week if they want to, and God bless them. But if they've tried it and it's not working, I try to give them some suggestions of other things they can do, and I count that as what keeps them in the sober living house.
So
if they don't do that, they're out.
I have to agree with you because years ago, I went to support somebody that I knew who was struggling with addiction, and I went to go support them at an AA meeting, right?
Yeah.
The one and only time I've ever been to attend one with somebody. Okay. In my own experience, here I am, not in addiction myself, but like, having watched loved ones go through it, yada yada. I walked out of there like feeling so heavy-hearted, so much like, oh my God, like, like, do I have a problem? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it turned the table so much. Now that can work for a lot of people because it's accountability, but I feel the same way you do, having only ever been to one to help support somebody. It was very difficult. It was very difficult room to be in. It was like everybody there had to have a problem, had to speak about it. And it was just like, oh my God, like this is just too much for me, at least. That was my experience. Now I know that there's different meetings, and different meetings can comprise of different groups of people, right? So you can have all women groups, all men groups, or a mixture of, you can have ones that are maybe more Christian faith-based,
sure. Celebrate recovery,
have a religious faith based, and a lot of churches hold these meetings, and in their different activity rooms they have. But I agree. I mean, but that's good that you look at it from a more well-rounded standpoint of this is not what you have to do, but you have to do something.
Well, think about this. If I told you right now, Cindy, if I says, do not think of a pink elephant, what do you think about?
Pink elephant.
Pink elephant. So let's just say I had a great day at work.
Yep.
I plan to go home and have a nice dinner, and I watch a little bit of TV, and I go to bed. I had a great day, right? Now let's just say that I had a great day, and I went to an AA meeting where they made me feel terrible.
Right, because it triggered you.
Pink elephant.
Yep.
Pink elephant.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm not, but I've had, I regress. I never thought I'd say that in my life, but I'm not. I have had positive experiences with certain groups.
Exactly.
And it's a mindset, and I could be dead wrong. So if your viewers out there,
no,
I don't want them upset at me.
I think that the way that your thinking process is excellent. I think that your approach is excellent because not everybody is in this cookie cutter type fit approach to recovery, right?
No, most people aren't.
Just like they didn't get into addiction by a cookie cutter approach either.
Correct. Think about the differences of every single person you're going to run into.
Yeah.
There's a young girl going to college but struggling.
Right.
Struggling.
And there could be a lot of underlying issue and
Sure.
why she's struggling.
There absolutely is, but you know, that's why I told her family, Cindy B, or I think that was her name.
Yeah.
Love her,
Carrie Ann.
shower her with love. God bless her.
Yes.
Suggest her for her health and safety detox.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And Carrie Ann B also too, you know, Jason's not just here to talk to us tonight. He is here as an advocate, somebody that can be a resource for us, even though he is not in Connecticut.
No, I'm not.
But you can give guidance if needed to somebody
Oh
who
yeah.
needs more information.
Heck yeah.
And the same as myself. And so, Carrie Ann, if you want to email me afterwards, if you know, certainly you, if you know somebody that has my phone number, you can certainly get it from them and reach out to me. And I would be happy if it's okay with Jason, if you guys wanted to get in touch with each other.
Sure. Yeah, and
outside,
I don't mind explaining exactly what happens in detox. It's everywhere. I don't care if it's Connecticut or California.
Right.
Detox is detox.
So let's go back real quick, if you don't mind, when you were saying earlier about the process of what people typically will go through before they hit a sober living house. Okay. So you said they go to detox. Okay.
Yep.
And that lasts for about how long?
Well, I don't want to quote for drugs, because for drugs it's typically shorter because it's
Okay.
not as dangerous. It's
Are
3 to
all
5.
And let me backtrack. I'm sorry. All the people in your sober living house, right? You
Yeah.
have just men there, not women.
Not women. It's
Okay.
not go ahead. That wouldn't work.
And then I'm going to clarify. And then how many people do you typically have, or how many beds do you have?
8.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and are they all struggling or getting off of the same type of
No.
Okay.
Every person is unique,
Okay.
including me. No one here is exactly the same as me, nor are they exactly
Okay, so
like
they
that.
could have been coming out of a detox from drugs at one point, or alcohol, or a combination of, or
Could have, yes, they could have. So detox for drugs is typically 3 to 5, and for alcohol or benzos is 7 or more.
okay.
What
And then
happens
what happens after that? They go to
during their detox? You get meds for your withdrawal symptoms. So, for example, could get. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but Ativan is a good medicine to help with alcohol withdrawal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Some people can get addicted to it, but that's
What are you doing taking a benzo? So,
right.
So after detox, after you complete detox, after the doctor, an actual physician tells you you are safe to move along, is rehab.
Mhm.
Not everybody picks rehab. Some people say they had enough after detox. Hell, some people try to break out of detox. Like they just can't have it. They're not ready yet.
When you're typically in detox, are you allowed to? Are there rules at the detox?
Yeah, absolutely. There's rules. There's no phone. Period.
Okay. All right.
You might get to call your family with your caseworker.
On a landline phone at the facility.
Yep. Oh yeah, with the counselor sitting there. Yep.
Yep.
And there's there's great valid reasons for that.
Absolutely.
And you might do small groups while you're in detox. The first, second, third day, you're probably, if you're an alcoholic like me, you're pretty sleeping. You're detoxing.
Right.
But then, there's rules. They feed you. Last couple ones I did, if I remember correctly, I wore scrubs. I didn't even wear clothes. Regular clothes.
You were a patient.
Yeah, right. And one more reason not to leave.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
They can identify you very quickly.
Yeah.
There was method to their madness, right?
Right.
That's great.
So you get out of that and you go to a rehab, and that's usually a 28-day program, and that's nothing but group
inpatient program.
Inpatient. Yep.
Okay.
Inpatient. And that's a lot of groups. That's a lot of counseling.
Casey says here, Casey, we're just going through it. So they say detox, PHP, IOP.
Yep.
OP. There you go. Yep. Random Random. I love fucking random.
Detox PHP IOP
Yeah, look
outpatient.
what random. I'm not even gonna put it up. What did she say?
Yeah, sober living. And then
No,
sober
what did
living.
random say? No, what did random say?
Oh, I don't know.
After that.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, look at I love
Random IV.
HIV.
Oh,
She's such a jerk. I love you. I love you. Oh my
HIV.
god. We have
Well,
fun over here. Wait,
it's been
hi Adair. I didn't say hi to you before. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. So oh Casey is asking what your channel is. So Jason, do you have a YouTube channel or no?
I think somehow at some point I had set one up, but I have no idea.
You don't do Jason does not do lives. This is his actual
First time.
we are de-virginizing Jason tonight
Devirginizing.
with his first we're popping his cherry with his first live tonight.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
he works in recovery. He has been in I can't is that the right way to say it? You've been in recovery yourself, like
Absolutely.
you've been sober, you've been off alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
not a drunk right now. That's good.
Not right
She
now.
said,
Not right now, but I can't promise you what I'll
yeah,
do tomorrow.
listen, there's no
Yeah.
promises. There's no
No
promises.
promises.
There's absolutely not.
Everything's difficult to hit to change. When I said establish a healthy routine, I had an unhealthy routine that I stuck to also.
Okay. So the same adage of that goes towards, I believe, somebody that has had any kind of pain and suffering in their life, right?
Sure.
And they've
Sure.
had they've had trauma, they've had anything that has happened. I think the same thought process goes towards you're not going to continually put yourself in a bad situation, right? Whatever the bad situation is. You're not going to be, you don't want to be somewhere where you're going to be triggered, right? And
No.
triggers for you might not be the same triggers for the next person.
Here's how I put it to you. And I thought of this a long time ago, is walking through the beer aisle at the grocery store is not my trigger. My mental status when I'm walking through that beer aisle at the grocery store is my trigger.
Depending on where you are mentally at that point in time.
Absolutely. So if
So
I
walk through there, you're like, boop, no problem.
right, and the next time I come through, I just got out of rush hour traffic. And that's where I said I have to guard my heart because everything flows from it. If I come in there after sitting in rush hour traffic and I get road rage and then I walk in and think it's smart for me to go in the beer aisle at the grocery store, I'm stupid. I'm setting myself up for failure.
Yeah.
I'm hitting my thumb with the proverbial hammer.
Yes.
Yes. And shame on me. So I have to know that when I'm using that as an example, but when I'm going through that rush hour traffic, I'm not stopping at a gas station. I'm not stopping at TGI Fridays, and I'm not going to the grocery store. If I am, I'm not going to the back where the beer is.
Okay.
So that's the stuff. So see where the mental game comes in. And that's what I have to say is my root cause. And that's why I put so much stock and effort into talking to my mental health counselor.
I think that everybody at some point in their life needs a really good therapist.
Yes. And be truthful with them. Be brutal.
Unless you're going to be truthful, you don't have to be embarrassed, but you have to be truthful with somebody because that's the only way you can possibly empower yourself to get better.
Yes, as long as you establish a rapport and you are comfortable with that person, that's the case with any human interaction. But think about it. You're paying this person, so get what you can get out of it because you're paying them.
Right.
You're going to somebody saying, "Here's $100."
Right.
If you don't take advantage of that, well, you just gave away $100, and I'll become your therapist if you don't mind. Put up a cash app, put up, here, throw it my way.
We'll be everybody's therapist here. Yes. Why not?
Sure.
At the end of the day,
I have Venmo.
Yeah, thank you. I'm about
I hate to laugh about that, but
oh my god, I think that's wonderful. I'm about says, didn't you do other drugs other than alcohol? Are you asking that of Jason? Did he do other drugs other than alcohol? I just want to see what Casey's laughing. That's exactly right. I mean, if we can't laugh at some of the stupid,
right? Yeah, there has to be a sense of humor into it.
There has to be a point where you go, okay,
There's laughter and there's tears.
Yeah, that's about it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm about is asking you that question. He's asking you, did you do other drugs other than alcohol?
I did steroids in high school, but that is not a mood altering substance. I
Mhm.
did mini thins they used to sell them at since you guys are in different states, I don't know, convenience store, gas station, and they used to be ephedrine, sorry.
Oh,
And
like caffeine pills.
no, these were ephedrine, and
Oh,
they have been made illegal, at least here in Ohio. And I
okay.
absolutely abused them. Where it said take one or take three, I forgot what it said. I was taking
Casey goes mini thin. She's like, oh my God.
mini
I'm
thins.
like, "You're what? Like thin mints? What?"
But I was taking 30 or 40 of them a day. Um, but otherwise hard street drugs, so like heroin and meth and crack and no, none of that. My dad scared the heck out of me and my sister when we were growing up and said that will kill you, that can kill you the first
Yes.
time you ever use it. But he
Yes.
never said that about a beer.
You were part of the DARE program when you were growing up, right?
Yeah, right.
They know.
So it scared
Okay.
me. It
You're
scared
the
me.
same generation that I am. Like we
Yeah.
were scared shitless.
But we weren't scared of drinking, and we would sit on the tailgate of the pickup
Right.
truck and be slamming some beer by a
Okay,
fire.
but that's
Yeah.
the thing. So yeah, so the say no. So the DARE program back in the 80s, that was that was Reagan's administration.
Yeah, Nancy Reagan
Nancy
did
Reagan
the
was a
dare.
big component of it. We had the t-shirts. We were like, say no. Yeah, just say no. If you see stranger danger and they're offering this to you, like this is everything we were so afraid, like so ridiculously afraid to even try anything, right?
Yeah. Yep. But
And
I don't, you know what scares me? As people talk to me about drugs, and I am floored. I am baffled. I don't know how they're alive. Like, I don't know how that they're alive.
well,
But I
that's
guess they could look at me and say how much vodka I would drink a day and
yeah,
say,
but
how
I
are you
think
alive?
the body organs are forgiving in some senses. So okay, all right, I'll put it to you. All right, how do I put this? The way a drug is ingested, and when I
Mhm.
say a drug, an alcohol or a pill or a liquefied substance, right? The way that it is ingested in your body can affect you very differently.
I suppose. I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what the difference between slamming a fifth of vodka
No, no,
and
no.
injecting heroin in my body is.
Okay, so they say, I think what it is that shooting it is the first way it gets to you, snorting it is the second one, and then ingesting it is the third.
For drugs.
Well, for I guess anything.
I don't think you should inject alcohol. I don't know. I don't know about that. No, I haven't tried that.
I
That might
have
be my
so
new.
I
That
have
might be my new low.
okay, wait. I have younger children, but not young. Okay, I shouldn't say young enough where they couldn't do that because they would. If not, they would. They have friends that could, right? If you have access to things, right? But there's different ways I think of people getting high or ingesting certain substances, right?
Did I lose you?
No, are you there? I think it cut
Oh,
off for a
I
second.
think my battery's dying.
Uh-oh. Is
Yeah, it is.
That's okay. Well,
It's been an hour.
it's been an hour. It's been a little over an hour. And
If you ever
I'm
want
not
me to
gonna
come
keep
back, give me a holler.
listen, you guys,
Yeah,
this is something that we're going to be doing. Jason, I thank you so very much
well, thanks for having me.
for coming here, for having this conversation. You guys, this is something that Jason and I would like to keep ongoing because I'm going to capitalize on his time whenever I can because he's so knowledgeable in so many things. Um, and I want to continue having this conversation with him. I think that what we're going to do when we can schedule something like a live like this, I want to start bringing people either questions that people have to Jason from you guys, or if people would be comfortable enough coming on panel to speak about experiences or questions that they have. I think that this is an ongoing conversation that we can all have together.
Sure, I'm game. I'm getting out of here.
I love you
I'll
long
talk to
time,
y'all
Jason.
later.
Thank you
And
very
best
much.
wishes to the people on this page.
What's that?
best wishes to this people on this page.
I'm going to stay live for a couple more minutes, so I'll let you go as your battery's dying. I'll talk to
Okay.
you on the flip side. Thank you, Jason, very
Yep.
much.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, that's how you do it. Gina says peace out. Oh, you guys, I'm sorry if I missed anybody's comments. I'm trying to get to the comments as well as speaking to him because I wanted to at least introduce you guys. Is he not awesome? He's so awesome. You guys, honestly, please give the thumbs up, especially for him being here. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. Thank you, Jason. His phone was dying. He juggles a lot of things throughout the day. I hope that you're doing well, sweetheart. I really hope that you're doing well. I think that this is all really good. I think this is all really good for us to talk about, for us to bring in, and for us to have an ongoing conversation about. You know what I mean? Yeah, Gina, he's walking the walk. Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys think? I mean, now that we're here together, like, what do you guys think? I think that this is a fantastic ongoing conversation that we have. Casey, I'm really glad that you're here too. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you so much for coming. No, that's really awesome. Thank you very much. Carrie Ann B, if you're still here, I don't know if you're listening. He's a nice bloke. Yes, Jason is a nice bloke from the UK, as the UK guy says. Thank you. Gina, yes. Isn't he great? He's so amazing. Honda, my baby. Random. I love you. You're great. You guys are great. You know what, guys? I appreciate you guys being here. We can talk for a couple more minutes if you guys want to chit chat about something. If you guys need to throw anything out there. It's Honda, who's sneezing? Wait, hang on. Yeah, it was super. He's super cool. He's so easy to talk to. I know you're sneezing and coughing. Hey, Adair, what do you mean? I remember thinking this community was about recovery. It just took a weird turn. What do you mean? Like, did I take the weird turn for the recovery part of it? Did I take the weird turn? Dude, I think Jason is he rocks big time. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Adair, okay? Thank you for saying that because you know what? This is the turn that we need to take here. Rather than continually criticizing people all the time, we're going to have fun over here. This is all serious fucking bullshit over here, right? This is not serious bullshit, right? But this is going to be what we're doing. This is part of my New Year's surprise that I was talking to you guys about when I said we have good things coming. We have some really amazing things to present to you guys, new people to introduce you to. Gina, you just said it perfectly. Thank you. She says, time to pivot and pivot and pivot. Thank you. Gina, I love it. Gina, I may take your words and make that a title of one of my lives. I'm just saying, but I will give you kudos and credit. That is amazing. I love that. I'm about Honda. Oh, Honda, I'm about says he likes you. You better watch out because Honda's a fiery. Ooh, that's my girl right there. That's my girl. That's my girl. Yes. Hi, Just John. How are you? It's really good to see you. Were you listening? If you missed this, we just had an amazing live with a special guest who we're going to hopefully continue to have good chats with. Okay. Gina, and pivot and pivot and mhm. Oh, good, Just John. I'm glad you saw. I'm glad you were watching. I'm glad you guys are all here. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. Well, there have been a lot of things that have been talked about in the community, and here's where we're going to pivot and take a new fork in the road. Yes, Honda, we have to catch up. I know. That's okay, baby. We're going to be good. I mean, we're always good. You and I are always good, anyways. That's my sister there, right there. That's my East Coast sister right there. Oh, my goodness. I'm pivoting, Gina. I love you, Gina. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Carrie MB, I know that you're probably not here anymore, but please get my number from Tish or email me, or we're going to connect because, yes, Honda, we need to stick together. And here's the thing, you guys, we're all going to stick together on a good note. This is all going to be good. All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to end this. I love you all long time. Keep your notifications on. Make sure you all are subbed. Make sure you share this out. If you're watching the replay, thank you very much. And guys, listen, after this is done, if you leave a comment, anything in the comment section, the algorithm gets out there. And that's really what's going to be good for people in the community, because it'll get to them and they'll be able to see and listen back. So I love you guys so very much. Stay tuned for the next live with Jason. Stay tuned for the next everything that we're going to be doing over here. And you can watch my food prawn, my little shorts. Otherwise, yeah, Gina, I know. Thank you so much for coming, Casey. Thank you, Adair, for being here. Honda, my babe, thank you. I love you. Oh, yes, I know, Gina. Melissa, Random, Jason, thank you again for being here. Scout, I have no idea who you are, King of Hefty Shadow Chaos. I don't know if you are e-beggars or not, but thank you for coming in. I love you all a long time. I will talk to you guys soon. Please make sure you thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share. Love y'all. Peace out.